I like the 35% that Harry, gave them. I think that's a very gracious number, and I'm down. I think this is going to be relatively close.
All right. Well, yeah. Let's see what they're going to be able to do. I mean, some great calls from the panel as well. You know, the Faceless Void, the Sven on it on his ever so comfortable Sven. So it's going to be exciting to see how he's going to be able to perform this last pick counter with Supreme, forcing the Razor to go into the off lane. Some very interesting things that we're going to have from either side. I actually think a little bit more confident in MOUZ's draft than potentially what the panel is mentioning. I think the Sven has overall relatively decent matchups minus the Faceless Void, which is probably the concern, and of course the Lasso. So potentially there's going to be some mid-game fights where Onit can showcase his true damage, because he's definitely one of the better carriers that doesn't worry about the link on the Razor. But yeah, let's see how much that's going to factor. I'm also, one thing I'm not quite sure if this is just Mirror on a different name or they're playing with a stand-in. So I don't know how much that's going to be a factor as well.
Yeah, that is true. I hadn't noticed that. I'm assuming it's a different name because nothing was said. I know. Speaking of that lane, I do like this combo. Like I think players are getting they're getting better and better with this Batrider combos. Like this hero has been such a beast in the last couple of weeks, and I really like the flame breaking to static link. That's definitely a lot of extra time that you can get from the static link. Obviously, this fan doesn't care about the link in the mid game, but in the lane stage, definitely a problem.
Okay, confirmation it is Mirror playing. So.
Okay.
Yeah, Mirror just I don't know what's going on. New tag is on his downtime, maybe playing a couple of 5-man stack games.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, we do have a reconnect here, so we should be getting. Oh wait, so his account got a community ban. What?
I don't know. I'll work it out. It's all good. So yeah, you're playing with Mirror though. That's all that matters in the end. So, okay, one thing I'm very excited to see how the top lane is going to go in particular for Team Spirit. I definitely think, Faceless Void, Phoenix, it's a great combo as the game goes on, right? I mean, you just look at big team fight abilities, Chrono, Supernova, but these two in the lane are very, very weak. With that being said, though, I do think there's a pretty big strength with the Phoenix to be able to lane into the Tiny. I think a lot of the prowess that we see of this position for Tiny coming back into the meta is like level 1 tree grab with your trading potential. And I think Fire Spirit makes that much more difficult for Nama to actually utilize in this lane, and potentially why he's gone for the toss level 1.
Yeah, exactly. That actually low is very problematic. But one thing that I think Force could utilize this lane is an early point of uproar. There are lots of lanes where you... Oh, wait a second here.
Okay.
Collapse actually gets the kill. Just finishing my thought there. I think having uproar against heroes that do damage over time is really strong for them to get kills with the slow and the extra damage. So very curious to see how Force is going to skill. If it gets to level 3, maybe level 4.
So what happened bottom lane? You get first blood, I think the lane got shoved all the way onto the tower, so now the Crete wave is going to bounce all the way back into Spirit's favor. And now bottom lane, the Poshka's under the tower? Like, what's happening in the side lanes?
Well, yeah, he tried to pressure that those creeps the Narwhal Dragon, he gets blasted, on level 1, so it doesn't have that Icarus dive. I think they body blocked the creeps bottom, right? That play is getting way more popular these days, where both the offlaners try to just body block and force the first wave on their tower. I think when you have a stronger lane, you can just do that. Mid lane, pretty.
What's your opinion on Queen of Pain at the moment as well? Because this is a hero that is like very, very hit or miss, pretty volatile in regards to, like, if you die a couple times, your impact in the game can be pretty lackluster.
Yeah, before this new Kaya Sanj changes, I think the hero was in a really bad spot because she's not a hero that likes building Veil, that likes building Shivas, at least not early on. I think the new Kaya Sanj allows this hero to be potentially very good, but I feel like the hero in general is very hit or miss because of... okay.
Yeah, they got him.
Here. Wow.
He's probably... Oh, he's got Fairy Fire, actually. He's okay.
It's fine. But yeah, it's a very hero miss hero. The hero can scale, but the way his power curve works, it's just weird. Like, you're very strong in the lane, and then it feels like you really need to farm a couple of items to get good, and you're kind of forcing to BKB. But like, if you're level 20, 25, the hero actually becomes really good again. Considering how they have to play this draft on MOUZ, which I think is very fast tempo, I think the hero is potentially pretty good. I think it does what it's supposed to do.
We're already seeing Nami get very active here for the Tiny. Sweeped up across the mid lane. He's now looking at bottom as well. I'll go for the Batrider, feeling like this is a bit more of an easier kill onto Mira. Collapse has got 2 points in the static link, so he's going to be able to soak away a decent chunk of the damage from Owner. Just with that extra level so important, and you see MOUZ very much lacking the potential to be able to kill the Batrider. I will say, though, that this is how Narman likes to play the Tinys. Recent games in the qualifiers, I think Tiny has been a big reason of why they've had a lot of success with giving Force just like a stable offlaner to play solo, and then the Tiny always looking to get active from the mid lane and the bottom lane as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's totally doable in this game because, as we pointed out, Void Phoenix is a really weak lane, which allows Force to still get really good CS despite the fact he's been alone for a long time. So I like that he's creating havoc, stopping those water runes from being picked up. They might even get Mira here? No.
Another hero, though, that just survives on a slither of health. I mean, previously it was the Conquer, this time it's going to be Mira. He's coming back down. Boots Windlace.
Yeah, this reminds me of some really clowny Monkey King games. I've seen that. Like, have you seen those support Monkey Kings just level 2 minute 8, hunting couriers, just doing wonky stuff? It feels like we might be slowly getting back to, the actual roaming meta. Maybe if they buff our Spirit, we might get there again.
Who does this favor, though, with now being a solo lane up top with the Primal Beast and the Faceless Void? Because it looks like Miposhka has just left Utoria alone.
I really think it favors MOUZ. I feel like Primal Beast is a hero that is only bound by experience. You really don't need that many levels, that many items on him. If you get an early level 6, then you can actually rotate both the Clop and the Tiny, right? Clop is very mobile. The problem is that Supreme is struggling a little bit in this lane here. Obviously, Kanka very good against most heroes, but I don't think it should be this big of a gap.
Maybe with the extra... Oh, they're going to miss on the toss. Okay. Again, Lau. Double Bracer would have been very difficult. He's got Boat now, so this is a perfect timing for him to get the ultimate. You've got a big creep wave with the catapult. Nothing the Queen of Pain's going to be able to do to defend the tower. Like, Narman's probably going to have to drag the waves, but... This is still one of the big concerns about the Queen of Pain. Like, all they need is really one stun. You're going to have that in lull. Maybe even the lasso will be enough from Mira, and you're very squishy at this stage of the game to die inside this combo.
Yeah, and even though he's going to be in time for the rune, in case a fight actually brews, they are in a big disadvantage just because of that 6 of the Kanka. Regardless, though, it's going to be illusion picked up by Laurel. So, top lane, about to get level 6 here on Force. But they don't have the TP just because Supreme was forced back to the lane. It would be nice to have a rotation, but you do need to get the 6 in Supreme or else you might not have the burst damage to kill Yatoro.
Speaking of burst, already lacking that again onto Mira's Batrider. So just the stats, the circlet, is able to stay alive against Bengen along with Narman. So these rotations just have not been paying off at the moment for MOUZ, and we're going to have to look for Supreme with that level 6 and now the Primal Beast. But they will probably be able to react to this, though, on Spirit. You've got Chrono ready to go. If it's defensive TP from Lal, he can also make a rotation over to potentially defend him. We do have these Wisdom Rooms, though, so it does look like already Mira's set up to take Spirits. And Narman's already in a position to be able to get his own.
Yeah, he tried to maybe sneak in. One thing that I really like from Miposhka this game is that seeing that they obviously couldn't really kill Force in the lane, he started stacking for them, so they already have a stack in the medium camp close to mid lane. They have stacks in the Ancients and the large camp as well. Not really scouted by MOUZ, so they're utilizing the fact that they have the Skunka, and they should be able to farm those stacks in no time and accelerate Laro's timings.
See if this first rotation is going to be able to pay off.
Oh, he has Chrono.
Does Yutoro also has Lao TPing in? Are they going to be able to play with the Chronosphere before the stun lock? Naman enters with the Avalanche, but it's not enough again. How many times so far have MOUZ just been lacking the damage to find a big kill?
That was the run buff. He actually got the run buff as the Avatos combo came in, and he got the time walk off. It was really, really low. But yeah, I mean, the co-op couldn't be part of that fight. And also doesn't get the rune. Really unfortunate here. Supreme just... He's not being enabled at all to create space this game.
Scary position. I mean, only 1,000 net worth lead, but it really just feels like... I wonder what the communication is like when all these movements you're making across the map just aren't working. I mean, Supreme will run into Mirror. It's like with the Sonic Wave, is going to have to be committed to get the kill. Maybe feeling like it's not enough damage?
Yeah, he does have a Lotus, but I think he could have probably gotten the kill. Huh. Yeah, I mean, that's unfortunate. At least they do scout the ancient stacks, but the Batrider already farmed the large camp one there. And another stack being made by Miposhka. Team Spirit, like, they... Not only they're not bleeding kills, they're just getting so much more out of the map. It feels like the aggression on this Primal Beast hasn't really panned out yet.
What do you want to see differently out of MOUZ? So they just need to rotate an extra hero? Like maybe Ona with his next God Strength can think about going top?
Yeah, that's a nice one through the Twin Gates. Wouldn't mind seeing Supreme as well, but like he already lost a fair amount going for the Batrider there. He is the lowest score CS by a pretty big margin. So I don't mind seeing him recover. There you go. It is actually Spirit making a move. You're going to find Armon.
I will drop the boat for this though. But it's just both the supports that are fighting back. Radiant going to make the movement. They will be a little bit too late though to protect the Tiny, but it seems like they'll get a return kill onto Mira. Especially with the Supreme leaping over the top. So finally, we'll be able to get another kill onto the board, but... I mean, it's really... The trade doesn't particularly favor... really anyone. I'd say Miposhka's pretty happy though, being able to soak a little bit of experience mid lane. Only level 4 at the moment on the Phoenix, so definitely one of the supports that relies on the levels. Bottom collapse. In some trouble, especially with Force moving in with the teleport. They should be able to finally deal with the Razor as well. So this is a much, much bigger kill for MOUZ to find, and they needed it out of Force with his rotation down to bottom.
Yeah, I love it. You know, instead of trying to go into Yatoro, he just rotates himself. Gets the kill. He is the lowest cooldown hero by a big margin. So,
oh, X back Yutoro with the TP in. Nicely done. What a setup as well from the Conquer. They don't need the boat as long as Yutoro has the TP ready to connect to the rest of the team.
Very nice done by Yatoro. Very active. The Spendo is starting to accelerate. Use that first ult to kill the Razor, and then he's just behind the Conquer. The top lane though, they get this kill.
Maybe just some poke? Maybe not. That Frostbite lasts a long time. Wow.
All right, yeah. That's Primal Beast for you. This hero is crazy strong. Level 3 Frostbite, as you said. Even though Tiny is struggling with levels, Bengen is level 6. So you do have a lot of those skill points to lock the Void in place.
They want Mirror? Maybe feeling like a little bit too deep with the potential rotations that could come out from the Conquer and the Phoenix.
Tanking the tower hits, and now they actually push the catapult away, so it's still alive. They might just get this tower because of it.
Okay. Like a good support with the Tranquils. Sit on Bengen. Tower's going to go down. And let's see if this gives them time to respond down bottom as well. Their own safe lane tower's in a little bit of trouble. They do have God Strength up pretty shortly from Own It. Maybe it's a bit too late, though, to set up a formation to defend the tower. You've already got Conquer here, who's got double Bracer along with Blade Mail. 1,700 health. Not an easy kill. You know, Collapse is pretty survivable as well. Treads, Ogre Axe, Falcon Blade. Very tanky, these two.
I'm surprised that... Oh, nice Avalanche Toss. Canceling the Phoenix here. Miposhka.
Oh, he egged. I don't think he's going to get it right. Yeah, okay.
They even tried to wait, I think, for Supreme to get the last hit, but it's the Crystal Maiden that picks it up. Dang, and pretty happy about it. I was just going to mention that Supreme has the Orchid queued up, and I'm surprised about it. I feel like this is an item you need to get when you were ahead. He's really far behind. This is gonna be like a 15-minute Orchid. I know it's fine against the Void, but I don't know. I have my doubts about how good it's actually gonna be.
So what's the kind of natural item progression we're seeing at the moment from the Queen of Plane?
Yeah, the normal, it's pretty close to Pluck. You just go Witchblade. Obviously, you don't get Blink on Quap, so you go Kaya Sanj. I think Orchid can be good. You know, if you're playing against the Pluck, if you're playing against the Luciferios, and there is a Void on the enemy side, I feel like it could backfire. Like, you build this item, you go for one gank that doesn't work. You don't really farm that fast. The mana regen on this item got severely nerfed. It is kind of a bet, especially when you're behind. But we'll see if it's going to pay off, as they are hunting for the Atoro here. That's the tier 2 tower.
I guess, you know, the one extra benefit that the Orchid provides is just that attack speed buff. So, I mean, you do have a lot of difficulties with actually dealing with the Supernova. So we'll hold that, because it's a pretty good rotation down. They do have a ward at the portal, though, so die instantly aware. They're going to back on up, but they're underneath Radiant's Cliff Ward.
Oh, yeah,
so this is a fight they would still want to take. Force is not with the team currently. He didn't join them.
Oh, they give up, actually. So, they see Yatoro top. Okay. Oh, he's just going to TP away. Oh, man. They actually second-guessed themselves. I feel like that was a totally okay fight to take under the ward. And then they tried to go for Yatoro, but they don't get anything. So, that's unfortunate.
Maybe part of it was, I think Force had to TP mid to clean up the wave, so they didn't have the Primal Beast. And potentially could have been a little bit slow to connect.
Yeah, that's true. But I know, at the end of the day, you don't get anything. And I think this Faceless Void is definitely a matchup that, as time goes on, gets really strong against this Vent. So you really don't want this game to last too long. This is a game you probably want to end with the second Aegis. Anything past that, I think, really comes disadvantage now.
Yeah, I'm a bit concerned right now on just the impact we're going to see from the supports on Spirit. Speaking of one of those supports as well, bottom lane. Mirror probably going to... Will he get in range with the lasso? No, a little bit hesitant under that tier 2 tower, especially with the backstab. Force will miss at least with the combo. And Mirror's going to make him go for a bit of a run, but... Of course, with the slow coming through for the dagger, they will catch up with a pretty easy time. So, yeah, I think the big thing for me when I look at this, though, is just, like, the levels and gold that Dire are playing with in regard to their supports. Like, you know, I mean, Miposhki, he's going Midas, man. I mean, Phoenix definitely, like, levels is a big thing for him. And, you know, for Batrider, you do so much with God. Whereas you compare to, like, you know, the Crystal Maiden, you know, Tiny, it's really just Blink. So, important for Naaman to get towards this collapse. It's a big kill onto the Razor down bottom, and they should be able to get it. I mean, they only have Lull nearby, but there's really nothing this Conquer is going to do to offset that attempt from MOUZ.
Yeah, really good connection from MOUZ, and, you know, you need to ramp up the pace, because as you said, they feel so comfortable in Spirit that they're going Midas on the Phoenix. They are the team that obviously want this to be going as late as possible. So if you can just get away with first item Midas like this, you're very happy on Spirit. So they need to keep getting those pickoffs. I think in general, Spirit has been giving them a really hard time. You can see some very deep wards. You have one close to where Sven's farming, was farming the bottom side. You also have a deep one in the lane that's hard to deward. And that's why Spirit is able to outmaneuver whatever it is that MOUZ is trying to do. They're doing a decent job, but you definitely...
Oh, mid lane low. Is this ambitious? I mean, Naaman at the remnant of the T1 tower. It's just these two heroes. You see the lack of damage enabling MOUZ to get nearby with the rotations. Even Yutora and Miposhki want to come over, though. So Chronosphere, along with the egg at the ready. MOUZ trying to split away, but the Chrono's still going to land on the two. Unfortunately, they don't get the egg off simultaneously. Now Supreme, turnaround potential with the Orchid. Now they'll look to deal with the egg as well. They mess up the combo, and MOUZ will punish them. Collapse. He comes in far too late. Supreme? Hang on, Supreme, you don't win this man fight. Collapse knows it as well. Tries to turn back around. And that's a freebie for Collapse. At least a Constellation prize will go the way of the Razor.
Yeah, that's two item debuffs changing the fights completely there. Pretty sure Supreme wasn't aware of the BKB, and the Void obviously not aware of the Orchid. Still decent-ish for MOUZ, especially considering Own It survived and he's 5-0-1. And I think, the next 2 or 3 minutes, maybe a little bit of an over-eager movement from Spirit, allowing MOUZ to actually climb up the ranks here. Now, Roche is probably what they are kind of gearing towards. I think Sven can already go for it if the Primal Beast is tanking. But you probably need to win a fight before... Actually, I mean, Chrono is on cooldown for a pretty long time. I wonder if MOUZ would be willing to gear for Roche.
I'm very intrigued on how these next couple of fights are going to break out, though, because still MOUZ, even though they did just pick up these items like you're saying, it definitely feels like this is a lineup that's really relying onto BKBs, because you have this Torrent Storm now on the Conquer. Like, not only that, but a lot of the Bat Rider damage, a lot of the Phoenix damage. So we'll see. They feel strong enough, though, to try and make the attempt with the smoke top lane. They want to go for Collapse. BKB still on cooldown for a couple of seconds. Force kind of messes up with the combo. It's not going to matter. Owner will clean up with the Blink. They're still going to be able to have this run buff to assist them. But with Yatoro not wanting to show up to the team fight, Spirit, they just need to call the retreat and cut their losses at Mirror.
All right, yeah. Again, not a bad fight. They knew the Razor BKB was on cooldown. They knew Chrono wasn't up. And Spirit still trying to kind of match their strength. But they obviously don't have enough fuel in the tank. This is a pretty even game. Now they're gonna find this Phoenix as well. This is huge.
Yeah, just more freebies. Big one for Supreme. I mean, that was what you were saying, right? Some concerns about the Orchid, where if you die a couple times afterwards, and your item progression could be lacking. But he's getting close towards his BKB.
Now this becomes a tower. Looks like the top part of the map is suddenly becoming MOUZ. Unfortunately, or fortunately, actually, Roche is gonna go to the other side, which is Radiant. MOUZ is actually gearing towards a pretty strong mid game. I still feel like you want to be even more ahead. After all, you are against Spirit. This is a team that knows how to delay these games, especially when they're already planning for it with the Midas on Miposhka already paying off. But overall, I think MOUZ is doing a pretty good job in Spirit. Maybe just slightly too confident with their positions around the map. The Razor getting picked off. Obviously, Yatoro dying that fight in the tier 2 tower. Ooh,
oh, look at this read, though, Bowie. Look at this read from Spirit. That's perfect. I mean, they knew exactly where the Sven and Tiny wanted to move across the map. This Observer Ward, the front of the tier 1 tower, and they didn't even see them before they TP'd in. They were well aware that there was going to be a play made on to Collapse. They started to bait the Razor. Of course, with the team fight abilities, they could easily clean them up.
Yeah, and that's MOUZ becoming confident, because the Sven was about to finish his BKB. Instead, he decides to buy a Blink Dagger in between. They're like, okay, guys, we're winning some fights. Let's just try to snowball even harder with Spirit.
Are they going to be able to blow him up before the TPs come out? You bet they will. Can they escape, though? Still have Lassiter work with here for Mirror.
Blade Mail.
He's pretty tanky with his Blade Mail Eternal Shroud. He'll get some separation. Now, Supreme's considering about going back in. He's got the shield rune to mitigate a lot of the damage. Blink as well to escape from the Static Link. And now Radiant, they're starting to the TP to the Outpost as well. And Collapse has got no one else to assist him. When you take an incredible team fight from Dire, but all of a sudden it swings back around.
Yeah, I mean, this is not the first time Spirit feels like they are stronger, even when they don't have cooldowns, even when they're separated around the map. So it really is on them losing that fight. They did get the Wisdom from the top side with Miposhka, so he's been, he's pretty much the fourth core here on the side of Spirit. He's just chilling as all of the craziness is happening. But I do feel like this still benefits MOUZ. Even though you lose your Sven, I think, especially if the Roshan be on the Radiant side now, all of their timings are up. You have Blink on Sven, you have this BKB ready, the Orchid BKB on Cop's gonna be completed very soon, and there's still a fair amount of time if the Chronosphere on cooldown. I wonder if MOUZ is gonna go for a move now.
All things considering, though, like, how do we feel about Yatoro's game currently? Because, it's been mentioned multiple times about this Faceless Void countering the Sven as we go towards the later stages. Do we feel like Yatoro's in a pretty good position to be able to reach that stage?
He's in a fine state, right? It was definitely better before, but this is definitely not insurmountable by any means. All you need is, 1 or 2 good fights, and the Faceless Void should be in a great position. The BKB that he's about to finish.
Oh, perfect. Sees the action, the tree line just predicts where the Conker's going to go back to, and now Onan as well. Jumps and cuts down Miposhka. Naman's blinks up in a couple seconds as well. Let's see if they want to consider a back collapse. Of course, they'll have to cut through the BKB.
Okay, nice movements there. I don't think you want to go to the tier 3 force. Alright, so they're gonna get this tier 2 tower. Roche still not in the plans for MOUZ, but yeah, this has been a pretty steadily climb for them. They get the 5k goal lead, killing Laurel. He was having like pretty much a perfect game. Now, we barely got to see fights with Torrent Storm, and I think that's something that Milan talked about in the beginning of the draft. Their cooldowns are very prohibitive, right? You take one Chronosphere fight, and then you kind of have to accept the fact you probably can't fight MOUZ on 5 versus 5, and that's pretty much what MOUZ has been doing the entire game. They always bring the numbers, and Team Spirit, they kind of... That's why they're playing so passive in a sense, because once Chronosphere is down, you kind of have to accept you can't win fights. And when they try to take fights, they lose heroes.
That's not the weakness, right, for MOUZ, where you've got Tiny with your low cooldown abilities where you can jump in, then reset and go again, and the big advantage of the Primal Beast. So... Yeah. At least for Spirit, in this potential fight, you do have everything online. BKB as well completed from your Toru. Just comes down to who gets the initiation. Lyle's probably not the target you want to blow up. As figures, Naman's going to be able to reset, force for the jump in. Do they really want to go for the Razor though? Collapse. He's relatively tanky. They'll keep him alive with the committal of the boat along with the Sunray. Now Ona, he's going to find an opportunity. Jump in over the other side. They got the static click at least before the Chrono. Now with the egg, Supreme wants to turn to deal with it. If they got the right clicks, the egg just pops. They'll get it the nick of time, but it will not matter. Finally, we see Spirit. They'll take a team fight with all of their abilities in conjunction together. But Bankin, hang on this freezing field. Hang on. It's not enough though. They lack some stuns. Yutoro just gets to dive away, and now Lal as well with the tidal wave stops the charge. Pulverize is back up, but they're just far too low. The resources aren't on MOUZ's side. Naman, Avalanche is still on cooldown. They don't need it though. Toss fry split. What? They actually still come out on top, and now they'll hunt down Collapse as well. What was that team fight? And in the end, MOUZ actually find a 5-man. Why?
That is crazy. Honestly, this fight could have been even better for MOUZ. The only problem with that engage from the Sven is that he didn't BKB. Like, it's crazy to me that he thought he was going to initiate with God Strength and not expect a reaction. So as soon as the Chronosphere comes in with the Torrent and Sunray, he couldn't really get the BKB afterwards. But even after that, this Primal Beast, he's so tanky. Look at him, just going for this Batrider. I don't think you can fight here. He's dead. Okay. No, never mind. Very close.
And now top lane, well, we do have a death though, Miposhka. Why not a spiteful Sunray? I mean, they could get his kills around top, and that's exactly where Roche is with God Strength. So, I mean, this is not how we thought the script was going to go though. MOUZ with a 9,000 net worth lead against Team Spirit.
Yeah, I think... To me, I could see them having this 9k goal lead if they had stomped their laning stage, but it was kind of the opposite, right? It started really well for Spirit, and they kind of dropped the ball in a couple of these fights, just underestimating how strong they were, underestimating the number of heroes MOUZ was going to bring, and finally, they're able to get this Roshan. It did took MOUZ a little bit, and obviously this is not a guarantee that the game is over, but this is pretty much where you want to be with this MOUZ draft. You want to have control over the game, have this Sven being really strong, and I wonder if actually Supreme gets the Aegis. He does take the bottle away. I think so, it's better for him to pick it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Sven has always been one of the weaker Aegis carries, right? Just being this transform hero, BKB, God Strength. I'm intrigued though if Spirit feels strong enough to fight into the Aegis. You probably have to expect that God Strength was used. I guess maybe you are some concern that you didn't get confirmation of this, but this is still, there's a bit of an opening now. It's a risky one for them to go for. And it does look like Miposhka's run to Supreme, but Supreme doesn't know that no one is playing behind him.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad opening because there's also an amplified damage on Yatoro. There's like a 35-40 second window for them to fight. But I think the biggest problem right now is they are starting to get out of wards. All of that deep vision Spirit was able to put in the map when they were ahead is gone. They only have defensive wards. So probably hard for them to really get out on the map, especially, smoking during nighttime. Always a a tricky situation if you have no vision.
What's your opinion about this Razor Aghanim shard? I'm seeing a lot more people start to go for it. I think Amar was really the big trendsetter, like he is so often on a lot of heroes that for buying this Razor shard very early on.
I mean, I like it, right? It's so cheap. Like when you look at the timings that Razor has post BKB, Refresher is probably the only one that's like amazing, that feels really good. So for 1400 gold, getting this post BKB, I'm all down for it. I think it really helps. Shard, I feel like in general, players still underrate shards. It's like it's very cheap. 1400 gold. There's almost no item in the game that is this cheap and can offer, you know, big change to your hero.
They do see Supreme underneath his Observer Ward. We're starting to ping him out and move on over. It's really going to be up to Mira to try and get that initiation. And even with this Aegis, they definitely can kill her. Did have that Kaya's Sunge queued up for a little bit. Supreme's actually going to turn to the Scepter instead, so wanting to potentially go for a little bit more damage. And I mean, speaking of damage, you've got that now with the Daedalus on Own.
Damn, he's really farmed. This is a big timing for MOUZ. They don't have that much aggressive vision, only on the bottom side of the Dire Ancients there. But they are so strong that they could potentially just try to brute force, you know, go from the triangle. They just need to find a good angle and make sure that your first point of contact is either the Primal Beast or the Quap. And smoke breaks.
Poshka, okay, that's a perfect target. It's a lot of the network. They're going to get another as well. Low. He's also caught out from Force. So not only do they lose his support, they're going to get the Conquer as well. Mr. the Sonic Wave's not going to matter. They are lacking some creeps down bottom, so they won't get that tier 2 tower. They do have a mid wave that's getting pushed out, though.
Yeah, that's big as well, because Zonit didn't ulti. He wasn't super keen on using it early. So you can use that to take a tier 2 tower. But yeah, I'm surprised they didn't just decide to get the mid tower. They're hunting for the Batride, and they're gonna have it.
Nice read, Narman.
Yeah.
Just protecting the creep wave. Of course, Onit's always going to be here as well. And you see what the rest of the team are doing as well, just holding this triangle. Key location, locking the map down, making it difficult for Spirit, you know, to reset the formation up with a couple of heroes dead. So you know, they should... Oh, they're actually going top. Hang on a second. Narman and Old.
Okay.
They get a glimpse of Collapse. They probably can kill him with this Daedalus now.
Yeah, gotta be careful though. You're running into a ward. It is... Yeah, I think MOUZ has been very careful with their movements. They aren't really overextending too much, but I also feel like this is becoming a game of cat and mouse where Spirit is benefiting from it, because your Aegis duration is being wasted here, and you definitely want to take a couple of tier 2s at least with this draft. Like, as we said,
Wait,
this... Yeah? You're not killing this Primal Beast.
Baiting? What's going on? Supreme with an aggressive jump in. What? The bashes? Where'd his first life go? You could just Aegis on top of the respawn now if you want to. Your Toro's going to do just that. And meanwhile, I mean, on the backline, Force just solo killed Lau, so it looks like a decent trade, especially if Own it crits down the Faceless Void. You're happy with the start of the fight if this Sven's always going to be able to come in and clean up. I mean, the egg might not go down, but they'll probably kill the Phoenix afterwards. A dive away, Force. He's ready to chase. Own it, ready to go as well. Blink up in a couple of seconds. No way. Did they read it? Ah, they see him. Nice try of Poshka. Not good enough, though, in the end. Another 5-man white.
Damn, MOUZ. It looked a bit wonky at the beginning. Quap died without Chrono Street being used, as you said, but I think Sven has been really intelligent with the way he's engaging these fights after that BKB blunder. He always waits for the Chrono Street to be used, just kills the Ataru straight after the Chrono. And sure, you only get this tier 2 tower after the Aegis is over, but getting all of those kills definitely makes it a bit better. This is starting to become insurmountable. 20k is far enough. Like, this is a 6% win probability chance here for Team Spirit right now.
I don't know if you saw how Loud died, but did Force just solo kill him?
Yes, like, that was a solo kill with the Blade Mail. Dude, Primal Beast is such a strong hero. I love it. Obviously, Force is really good. So if this was a BO3, I'm pretty sure it was going to be banned game number 2. But he was able to get like a free lane, right? You stay alone. It's almost as if you're a mid hero because you're there and there's no threat to you at all.
And he's even just like, not even ever thinking about onslaughting in, but he's just using it for the sound cue and just kind of like baiting reactions. Like, and this is Force. I mean, he hasn't been in Western Europe for overly long, but people that followed his journey in Southeast Asia, this man is a voice line spammer. You know, he's always wanting to he just wants to piss you off. That's it. You know, if he can like mentally get to you just even a little bit, he feels like that's a success. And fortunately for him, bottom lane won't be able to catch up to Yatoro though, but 21,000 net worth lead.
Oh yeah, this is becoming tough. You know, if there's a team that can come back from a game state like this, is Team Spirit, but it's definitely going to be easy. The item timing is like, this Sven is almost 10k gold ahead of the Void, and it's so hard. Like if you poke a Spirit, you can't really reset the fight. You have to commit. And that's the problem. Ooh.
A little bit awkward. Daytime, now they're going to be able to get the jump. They're going to start to mount a comeback that needs to be here in this team fight. Torrent Storm will make them work for it. Somehow Naman is able to slither away. And now that's all of Conker's spells committed in this first round. And Collapse now has to pop the BKB to reset. Maybe he wants to go in for the kill into Supreme. He's in a little bit of danger. Force is also just making so much space on the backline. Meanwhile, Naman recognizes no BKB means a freebie onto Collapse, and Spirit are out, but Yatoro, this is still TP down for 10 seconds. They should know this, considering he just escaped from that bottom side of the map. So we blink up soon from Olna. Should be able to catch up to him. Maybe a chrono has to be used, but there's the first stun. Pulverize coming out shortly. Down goes Yatoro. They're not even done. Naman, when he's already looking for the +1, they recognize they were not required for the kill. Now look at mid lane as well.
Oh my god.
MOUZ, I mean, this is looking like a well-oiled team that has been together for quite some time. I'll get him, right? Okay.
Okay. Beyond godlike on Laurel, 10-1. Own It also having a really good performance. They, you know, you gotta give it to MOUZ. I think even though Spirit did make the mistakes that put them into this position, I feel like MOUZ barely made any mistakes. And that's the thing. With tier 1 teams, usually, even if they make a couple of mistakes, they're always able to get the game state back to where they want it to be. But MOUZ, like, they never let go. They abused some of those small blunders from Spirit. And if you have a Phoenix that went Midas, things get hard when you're forced to fight. And that last fight was a perfect showing. Like, they try to poke, but they have to commit cooldowns, and then it's really easy for MOUZ to punish if you don't get any kills. And they didn't even kill Narman, the position 4 Tiny.
Yeah, the position for Tiny, who is almost got enough gold for Wind Waker as well. So this late game, you know, potential advantage that you have with the Faceless Void Chrono is, you know, now you've got one item to be able to counter it. You know, there's definitely potential for some other people to go for it as well. We're going to be able to get the captain, Maposhka, and up to the creep cutting shenanigans. Like you were saying though, before, if there is any team that somehow are able to mount a comeback, you know, it potentially is going to be Spirit. It's 98% probability with a 27,000 deficit, but I do think Spirit are probably one of the best teams that's somehow playing from behind. But this, like, how are you going to do it this game? Because it doesn't look easy.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't. I mean, in terms of timings, I think Yatoro finally got his 20. So Mjolnir, level 20, even Mask of Madness. He is probably capable of killing anyone inside the Chronosphere. But yeah, it's only one Chrono. If they somehow get Aegis on MOUZ, things get really hard. Obviously, going high ground for MOUZ without getting kills is tough though, because Sven doesn't want to be carrying the Aegis. And if you use God Strength and then you get killed, this is a huge advantage for Spirit. So curious to see how MOUZ is going to try and attempt. Like, do you fish? Do you poke for a fight before you even go high ground or get the Aegis? They are trying to do just that. But Spirit's going to smoke first.
They will. Force is not with them. Will rejoin through the portal. Quick item update. Supreme just got Supreme, the Hex.
Good position. Such good position.
Oh, he jumped over the top. Very defensive use of the BKB, very cautious of this Chrono turn potential force. He doesn't care though.
Chrono
the
Primal?
percent damage, it's gonna get cancelled instantly, and look at the Sonic Wave pushing them all out of range. They're dumping every single spell on Force. Maybe they're gonna have enough, but it just frees up the fight from Olnip. He'll cut away the life of the Faceless Void. Now over to the west side. Supreme and the boys, they can chase and catch up to collapse. Another crit for good measure. Lal's going to attempt the TP out inside the pit. He'll survive. It's your second death of the game for Force, but man, the amount of chaos he's creating these team fights.
He is so impossible to kill. 25% status resistance, 5k HP. I don't even know how much magic resistance he has once the Eternal Shroud stacks go in. They literally had to use everything. Great positioning from Supreme. Sure, the BKB was maybe a bit overeager, but as long as you can put the Primal Beast as the first point of contact, with this advantage, it's probably impossible to lose a fight. Like, if it's the Primal tanking everything, all of the other heroes that are the damage dealers are gonna have a field day. Timeless Relic on Iposhka. That's not a bad drop.
Okay. Like, I mean, you saw the read from them that last fight though. I mean, they feel like the Chrono along with the percent damage from Iposhka, it potentially was enough to be able to deal with the Primal Beast. We just saw instantly Narman with that Tiny. I mean, there was, I don't even know what the Sun Ray went off for more than like 0.3 seconds there. So, you know, let's say maybe with this extra item, the Timeless Relic, might be able to help out with some of their damage issues versus the tankiness, because even Olnit has 4,200 health.
And that was a fight, I think, without the Wind Waker. Narman does have it now, so not only he can cancel the Sunray, but he can Wind Waker whoever gets chronoed. So now as Yator, you have to chrono 2 targets that are probably very different positions in the fight. It's definitely really tough. And they... Okay, so they will smoke here. Aegis on the Sven. Yeah, it's hard to go high ground. That's the only disadvantage for MOUZ. Even with all of this lead, if Chronosphere's up, which just became up, you like, do you actually God Strength before going high ground? Do you just try to poke and wait for a reaction? It can be tricky.
You go with this ward that you just placed, and that ward's going to give you a pick off onto Miposhka. He's got a buyback at least, so not the worst. Hopefully Mira's going to have a buyback as well, because he dies instantly. It's a great torrent. Now they do have to commit the God Strength for these kills though.
First Glyph gets used. Yatoru's not even in the base. I guess he's waiting for the God Strength to be over. Finally TP is.
Force is killing an effigy. Okay.
Alright, that's a free set of barracks. If you really want to win this, you probably chill. You probably wait for the next God Strength, but they're going. Okay.
Pumped up inside the base. This is the fight they've been looking for in Spirit. Lol. Angling for a wraparound. Yator trying to bait them into the middle. Force not really going to be able to commit too far. I mean, just see the mind game right now, waiting for someone to just step a little bit too far over the boundary. Low. Thought he was tossed down to the low ground. BKB unfortunately used defensively, maybe when it wasn't as required, but of course, very close to making it on the other side of the wall.
Okay, they're really chill here in Spirit. I'm not sure what exactly they're waiting for. Maybe if you chrono in between the Sven and the rest of the team. Oh no.
And again. Now the jump. This time they're going to find him outside the base, and without the BKB from Lal, he'll at least get the torrent, summon the boat off before he dies, but the Wind Waker from Naman and also the Peak Ball. The full stuff too! All the mobility. Yatora just cannot hit a single hero. It's a pretty decent egg, but without the stuns, MOUZ, they make the call, retreat over the west side, and with every big important spell on cooldown, how do you mount this last defense?
I don't think you do. They're out of gas. They used everything. No lasso, no egg. All you need is this Primal Beast. Oh my god, look at him go.
And 3 callers jumping different heroes simultaneously. Supreme almost kills Mira. Olnit almost gets a kill under the T4 tower. Olnit, eyes on the objectives. Did pop the God Strength on the first life. Not gonna lose the first life though. Satanic up to full. Wow, what an upset. MOUZ in the end. A very dominant victory. I mean, they're gonna bite back, but they just give more celebratory kills over to MOUZ, who will be moving